Welcome everybody to the Spring 2018 Gaiscioch Community Summit. You are in Discord with me. You will want to mute Twitch. Otherwise, you will hear me 30 seconds later. There's about usually a 15 to 30 second delay. So mute Twitch and you won't hear it, but you'll hear me here. So I will try to keep on pace with the slides so that you're not too lagged either way. So yeah, welcome everybody. I am your host, Captain Fall Damage, Foglata. I've led just about everyone here that I'm seeing off at least one clip. If not, I look forward to. That is kind of my trademark, and I don't do it on purpose. I just kind of auto-run off a cliff and people follow me. I don't know. Maybe they love me or something. I don't know. It's either that or they just think I have some sneaky plan to go over that cliff. Not die. But yeah, see, Kitty knows. Kitty knows. So today, throughout the event, we are going to be giving away 3 Gaiscioch patches. They're about 3 inches. They're embroidered. Stick them on a t-shirt, backpack, whatever you want. So if you want to enter to win those, just type Gaiscioch at some point during the stream. I think that worked. There we go. Alright. So just type Gaiscioch and you'll be entered to win. Even if you live in another country, I will do my best to send it to you. Hopefully somebody out there will allow the mail to be delivered and not like steal this awesome patch. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do this a little differently today. I did find that Google Slides actually has some questions built into the system where you can do a whole Q&A session. A little later I'll give you the URL for that and you guys can plug away some questions. First up, we are going to take a look at the Gaiscioch news. The big stuff that happened in the last little bit here. So our trademark has officially been accepted and put into law in the United States of America. Anyone that uses the Gaiscioch name can and will be shut down by us. So, yes, yay! That means that no more spoofing campaigns trying to stick their name onto Gaiscioch.org and host themselves in the United States without us going after them. So, that's good news. I know that has been a bane of our existence for several years, and it's finally coming to an end. So I'm happy to say that chapter is going to close one way or another. Home pages for chapters have been revised. If you haven't checked out the home pages for the chapters, log out of the home page and visit the guildwars.gaiscioch.com, eso.gaiscioch.com, warhammer.gaiscioch.com, or rift.gaiscioch.com. All of those pages have their own new flow and information about us. We had Gaiscioch Magazine issue 15 ship. That happened last week. We launched the Chronicles of Tamriel, our first ESO public community event, which is off to a great start. We introduced Haggle and Jillabah to the Eldership team. We remembered Pops and Findon and launched the Ascended Gaiscioch section of our site. That is where we remember all of our members that are no longer with us. Gaiscioch football won its 5th league championship in Portland, Oregon, 3rd in 2 years. So I think things are starting to look up for us. And we built a new model for new raw materials to be placed in the marketplace system to sync costs across all games with greater ease. This is a huge improvement because I used to have to calculate it all by hand and it was a nightmare process. Now I've got a way that it helps streamline it across all games. So if you buy something in one game, you're not getting more credits than you're getting for buying something in another game that took the same amount of time to get. So, yay for streamline. Alright, so we have current Gaiscioch open chapters. If you want to play one of these with us, these are typically our bigger chapters. You'll find the most activity in the full chapter, that's Guild Wars 2. There are people on there all the time, 24/7. There's definitely somebody on. It's pretty much our main chapter right now. We have one legacy chapter, which is Elder Scrolls Online, which also has a great deal of people playing. That's between 50 and 300 people currently playing it. The 300 side is usually right where it becomes a legacy. I say ESO is probably around the 250 to 270 mark of active players right now. And by active players, we mean somebody that has played the game in the last 30 days. Historical chapters are typically between 1 and 100 players. Both Rift and Warhammer Online, in the form of Return of Reckoning, are both in that range. You'll usually find us active on a day or 2 days a week, and then it'll be pretty dormant the rest of the week. Might have 1 to 5 people online anytime during that week. And those are pretty much just ways for us to keep our old games alive. You know, anyone that gets that itch that's got to go back and play one of those games, we can jump on in, have some fun, grab other family members, and go in there and have some fun with them. So, new chapter pages. These are when you log into the site. I have them done for ESO, GW2, Warhammer, and Rift right now. It gives you an at-a-glance statistics, kind of some of the big statistics I like to highlight. It has a list of upcoming events over on the left. It has recent events underneath that, where you can quickly click and claim participation. It has discussions directly to the right of that little event box. You have a quick marketplace browsing, where you can click on any one of those headlines and expand it to see the other things and jump to whatever section of the marketplace you want. We'll get into the marketplace a little later for those of you that are wondering what the heck I'm talking about. You have your open work orders over on the right-hand side. And then down below, you would have chapter news, new chapter members, resources, and coming soon, I'm going to be adding the game news feed so you can see what's going on in the games. So next up, this is kind of a quick snapshot of our Halls of the Ascended, which has all of our members who are no longer with us. Had quite a few in the past couple of years. I think since Roger's passing in 2011, we've had 10 that we know of, and we wanted to build a place where we could remember them. So we built the little Halls of Ascended. So you can find that by going to the membership drop down, and then you'll see Ascended Gaiscioch. Go ahead and go there. Some nice things written about them. You can leave comments on each of them. Feel free to do that whenever you like. Next up, we are going to take a deep dive into Gaiscioch. This quarter, we're going to take a look at the marketplace, because this is a section of the site I don't think a lot of people pay attention to, and they probably should.
Phone call.
I know, right? Alright, now that's over with. So the marketplace allows members to purchase in-game crafted items or materials using vault credits that they earn by participating or leading events, filling work orders, writing for the magazine, and discovering new recipes. The marketplace is not priced against in-game economies rather than against its own internal economy. This allows us to base the prices between all 4 of our chapters. So if you buy something in Warhammer, and you fill an order in Warhammer, you can use those same credits that you earned to buy something of equivalent value in Guild Wars 2, or in ESO, or in Rift. Members are able to earn vault credits in one chapter and use them in another. Vault credits do not expire. Members can save them and use them when they need to, regardless of what game they use them in. So if we open a game down the road and we're having a chapter in Gaiscioch, the MMO, you'll be able to use those credits that you saved up back in the days when you played Rift, and use them to buy full sets of gear and stuff in Gaiscioch, the MMO. And yeah, so the core feature of this is to measure various members' willingness to give to others, even when the reward is not as good as they could have gotten by using the auction hall. We purposely price everything so that it's basically a sacrifice. We want to see how much someone is willing to give to another member of the family without, having some kind of reward in return. So that's kind of the main purpose of why we originally created the marketplace. It's a good way for us to measure character. Now the challenges with the marketplace is pricing items so that the cost lines up with expectations of time investment. So Gaiscioch as a whole functions on 100 family honor points per hour as the baseline. So the most basic 5-man event, that's where we want it to exist. Sometimes they'll go over that when they're doing something like a open field campaign and they're using multiple warbands. they will usually advance faster than that. Same thing with crafting, though. We want it so that if somebody is, say, someone's ordering iron ore, how long will it take you to farm iron ore? And then, how many iron ore can you get per hour? And then you divide that to the points. So that's kind of how we built our scale, is to try to figure out what the time investment is per material, and then scale it out that way. And that allows us to kind of create a price model that works across every game that we play. So what we want to do is make sure that the gear costs are very similar across all the games, so that if you craft something for Rift, you can buy something in GW2. Pricing that prevents exploitation. The main thing that we saw is that if we make it so that you actually can list something on the marketplace and then buy it for more than you sold it for, then you start running into infinite cash, and people will exploit it. They have exploited it in the past. So everything that your reward for filling a work order is less than the person spending. So there's about a 20% cut that comes out of it, so that there's constantly filtering funds out of the marketplace system. Raw materials. Raw materials set the standard cost for the items, so that basically what an item's price is it's the total cost of the materials. So if you total up all the materials, that'll give you the first price, and then you add a 25% crafter fee. So that gets added onto it, and that makes up the family vault credit cost. So here's an example of a price model that I did for Guild Wars 2. This is the most recent one that I've put together, and it basically will show you the color of the gear, and then where the pricing stacks up based on the skill level it takes to use that crafted item, or the player level that is used for it. So you can basically find, okay, if it's a yellow and it's for level 80/400 skill, then you're looking at 92 credits, and then contribution of 74. So that's pretty much how that works. So how do you use the marketplace? First, you earn vault credits. Those can be earned, or those are basically an accumulation of your honor points combined with your contribution points. So for every 1 honor point that you earn by participating in an event, writing for the magazine, discovering recipes, whatever it is that gives you an honor point, that's a vault credit. And then every time that you get contribution for donating items, or filling work orders, or participating in charity events, that will give you another vault credit. So the total of those two combined will give you your vault credits. To get to the marketplace, all you got to do is click on the marketplace button that's on the top of the navigation. It's the next to last button, I believe, or second. I don't have the website in front of me at the moment, but it's up there on the right hand side. It's the bag icon. Once you're in the marketplace, you can click Browse Marketplace, then select the category that you want, find the item that you want, and then click Order Item. Type in how many you would like, and then click Request Item. A crafter will claim your work order and send the item to you via in-game mail. Now, the longer an item is on the marketplace, the higher the price goes. So the reward for filling a work order will grow until it's within 10% range of where the cost was. Alright, so community update. We're going to blow through this really quick. Just some numbers, and then we'll get to some questions. First up, we have the active eldership team update. Community leader, me, Baglada. Guild Wars 2 is Soren, Smitty, Terraford, Dargren, Gmafog, Jillabad, Micah, Bree, and Rylissa. Elder Scrolls, Sir Henry Vale is currently in the leader chair. I'm kind of there as well if you need something. Sir Henry's my number 2 guy that's going to help me keep everything organized. Verve is also there. He's a great source. He did his term last quarter as the big L on the table. Kilted Piper's there as well, and Ian. In Rift, we have Elena, who's currently the main contact person. Feel free. She invited you all to this here meeting. Tip and Barter. Warhammer, you have Radiological, who's going to be sitting on the big L this quarter. Haggle and Donald Liam. And floating, we have Izzy, Prissy, Bree, Selrina, Raynor, and Sigurl. These are basically elders that float around all the different games, play a bunch of different things, including social adventures, and just kind of keep a general eye on things or help with other teams like the magazine. We got some big congratulations. This quarter we had 2 people make the lock rank. That would be D and Namery. Congratulations, guys. We had 6 Guardians. Iosef, Alexia, Lolhost, Florex, Submarine, and Hooplung. Bunch of veterans, bunch of members. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys climb the ranks. A lot of them literally joined recently, except for that Wolfvan guy. He's been on Mars for a long time. He should be a lot higher than that. But all the others, I mean, there's a bunch of like Brian. He joined somewhat recently, and he has been climbing up those ranks as fast as time will allow. Luxter is another one that I've seen basically join the community and just skyrocket right through them. Neo Panda as well. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys get to those Guardian and Legend ranks here soon. And then this is our class of spring 2018. These are all the new members that joined our community in the last 3 months. So welcome everybody. You can see a lot of those names that made that member rank in this list. And very pleased to meet you guys. Super stoked. Vicious Gnome. We've had some good fun. Yep. And Damascus. That's another one over here. Been running across you quite a bit.
Yeah, hang out.
He's good. He's good. And then thank you to our patrons. As you guys know, about 2 quarters, like half a year ago, I guess, we opened up a Patreon account to try to offset the cost of running the websites and everything else, and get those patches that I'm going to be giving out today. In fact, why don't we roll for one? Ta-da! Jay! Like I'm sending one to Germany.
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
So I will get with you and get your info and send you off the patch. So let's go ahead and go over the progress report real quick. And if you want to win a patch, type GSCH into the Twitch chat, and I will be happy to enter your name into the raffle. So, population-wise, 643 currently for total Gaiscioch population, active population. These are people that have played and done something in the past month. 314 are in GW2, 249 are in ESO, and as you can see, ESO has been bouncing back quite tremendously since February. I have a feeling that as we near June, when the next expansion comes out, it's going to even jump a little more. The social adventures are actually on a steady increase. There's been a lot more activity in the DDO world and in the Overwatch. I've seen quite a few Overwatch events. We also have some PS4 activity going on in Terra and in soon Defiance 2050. So we'll be seeing that. And Rift and War are both kind of cruising right along where they pretty much have been bouncing up and down since pretty much March timeframe. So it's it bounces up, bounces down. It depends on who's playing when. So if you're interested in playing Rift or War, we do have a community there. Just realize that it's not going to be a heavily populated one, not like GW2 or ESO, but we still have some good fun on select days. So check the calendar, find out when those events are going, and show up for those events. It's the best way to get involved. So social media statistics on Twitch, we are now at 840, creeping our way towards that 1,000 mark. For Twitter, we are at 904, which I believe we actually climbed above that since I took these numbers down. Magazine subs are up to 469. These are people that are non-Gaiscioch members that have signed up to receive the magazine via email. 532 subscribers on YouTube. So that's cruising right along. So big achievements. Again, we shipped issue 15. That was a huge achievement. It was a lot of work trying to put that together. We had our cover story drop out on us, and we had to scramble for the cover story. It's just everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and then I got pulled away for big projects. And yeah, it just went way too long. We launched our Chronicles of Tamriel community event series. We improved the post-login experience on Gaiscioch.com, developed a more robust mods to help sync our website across all our chapter games. That was a pretty huge thing for us. And then we launched the Send to Gaiscioch section. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and open forum this. I'm going to pop some questions open here. Ta-da! So if you want to ask a question, you can either type X in Discord or Twitch, and I will call on you. Smitty, if you saw any questions that you feel need to get asked, feel free to go ahead and read off one of those.
Nothing at the moment.
I'm currently making a Twitch account real quick.
Alright, there's the question URL if you want to ask a question in the little question thing. This is also a good time that if you are an event leader, please feel free to share your event. I currently run a Monday 6 p.m. Pacific World v World session. We will be moving that to EOTM for a little while. Try to get some of our groove back. The life out in World v World land has a new meta, and it's pretty brutal. So not very friendly to the casual player that is trying out World v World for the first time. So I'm going to take you to some place where we can have fun as casual players. So we're going to head to Edge of the Mist. So Mondays, 6 p.m., Edge of the Mist. And then I've also got a Club Gaiscioch on the calendar for 11 p.m. at night Pacific time. That's really bloody late for all you East Coasters, but the Oceanics will love it. And that is basically going to be World v World to techno, trance, and epic music. And I'll be in Guild Wars 2 Saturdays at 11 for a little while. See how that goes. Jay, go ahead.
Well, after I took a break for about a year, I've started leading events again, and I'm starting out with bounty trains in the Crystal Desert maps. I'm going to be doing that on Fridays, so keep an eye out on the calendar, and we're just going to be moving through each of the maps in turn and do all the bounties.
Awesome. Kitty?
On Monday mornings, I will be running SORC Guild missions. Before your event at 5 p.m. Pacific, I will be running the Fractal Staging Group. And on Wednesdays, because we have many returning players and those who came late to the party, we have the Side Stories event, where I will try to get you guys the achievements from that specific achievement group, which is hunting the champion bandits around Central Tyria, chasing the anomalies, helping the consortium and the priory against the inquest, and so much more, even defeating Joko's armies. Praise Joko.
All right, Jimahot.
Okay, so right now I'm only doing one event on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock Pacific time. It's basically map completion in Guild Wars 2. It also, if you stick with me for about 6 months, we will have world completion. The thing about my event from other map clears is we do the quest, the hearts. We take it slow. If you have any questions, if you're a beginner, it's a perfect place to start, because I've been told I have the patience of a saint, and you can ask whatever questions you want, and no question's stupid. And we just have a good time joking around and getting our completion for the maps done.
Thank you, Jima. Smithy?
Hello, everybody. And Wednesday evenings is when I have my World versus World event, the Sabres. For the last several sessions, we've been running through Edge of the Mists because, as Fogg said, World versus World has gotten significantly harder, and the metas have definitely changed. One good thing I could say is that Puka has put up several good builds that you can use to improve your characters, and you can test them out at my event and also run them with the Harbingers of Light as they run during various times, or run them with me. Also, I wanted to see if there was any interest in anybody wanting me to restart my Dragon Stand event and hold that on Friday evenings, which would also be around the 8 p.m. time, whatever time the Dragon Stand resets. So let me know, hit me up, and we'll see about getting that arranged and organized. That will be for Guild Wars 2.
All right, Namer.
Hello, everyone. I run an event every other week on Tuesdays in World vs. World. And I have my fractal teaching event on Wednesday. They're all, I believe, if I'm correct, in the morning times or end mornings. It is for me evening at that moment, so. And for the rest, I am switching every other week with Mika. We are holding the raid events. 1 week, I will run the raid on Thursday, and the other week, he will run it.
All right, and Micah.
Yeah, hello everyone. So for my events, I want to point out of the Sunday raids. It happens on, of course, morning time, 9 p.m. PST, and it's a 2-hour event. But then I have also, it's happening about every 3 weeks, and it's on varying time, either 6 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. PST. So hopefully we will get more raiders on the tryout and to see how the raids work. Every builds and everything is taught, and so if you are a new player, you are more than welcome to come.
Alrighty, thank you. Anyone else have any Guild Wars 2 questions, event announcements, anything you want to say?
How has game changed since launch?
That's a good one. A lot.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's got a whole lot more content. Builds have changed quite a bit, so things that worked when you first started playing probably don't work anymore. It's definitely been a lot more streamlined. A lot of improvements have come along the way in the living story. There's an overwhelming amount of content that you can go through, and the nice thing is no matter what level you are, you can go anywhere and do anything. So if you're level 80 and you want to go back to Queensdale, you can go complete all the quests in Queensdale, do the story parts in Queensdale, and everything will be scaled up to you. So it's not like you're walking around in God mode anywhere, unless you're playing the meta in World v World, then you're God mode. But World v World is different. Like it's gotten a lot more competitive. It's kind of going down the SPVP angle. It's not as fun for the casual player, but they have the Edge of the Mist, which is more aimed at casual players. There are pips now, which you basically can earn and get extra rewards on top of the rewards that you already get in World v World. You also have rewards tracks in World v World, where you can set a track, and the more that you do, the higher up that gets, and you get additional rewards, including things like all the legendary materials and stuff like that. There aren't really any new dungeons. There are fractals. Fractals are a whole different thing. If you want to learn about those, I highly recommend talking to Namry, Micah, Jay, or Kitty. Namry. They all know fractals inside and out and can give you the full rundown on all like 370 levels of them. There are raids in Guild Wars 2 now, so where there wasn't any raiding at launch, there is a lot of raiding now. There's quite a bit of raiding, and if you don't believe me, go to the Gaiscioch Guild Hall, walk around the area near the scribing station, and all that wall of trophies was pretty much earned in raiding. So you have a lot of trophies. There is guild housing now. There wasn't before. Guild system has been completely reworked. So the guild system that you were used to in the launch of GW2 is entirely different from the guild system now. There is another big improvement coming on the way where they're turning World v World into an alliance versus alliance system where you can form up alliances and then you get paired onto a new temporary world with other alliances, and it's basically organized by how much you play. And the cool thing is that that's bringing alliances into the guild system, so guilds will be able to form alliances with others. So that's a huge plus right there. Hopefully there's an alliance chat channel. That would be awesome.
How will that affect PvP?
Well, the current servers will be gone. So Sanctum Morale will be no more at that point, which I can't say is necessarily a bad thing. We still have the Black Citadel to remember Roger. And we still have Gaiscioch Raw to remember Roger, so I'm not too bent out of shape. It will be a good thing in the fact that they can take the alliances. Basically, there's a cap to alliances to how many people can play in World v World. And basically, each person will designate one guild in their lineup as a World v World guild, and that's the server that they will get paired with. So if you say Gaiscioch is your World v World guild, and we're paired on the ArenaNet server, all Gaiscioch members that have that flag will be on the ArenaNet server. Can't think of a better server name right now. But, so, the nice thing is that you can have, I think they were saying like 1,000 alliance members, something like that. So 1,000 people can basically declare that as their alliance before it caps out. And that's pretty much how it will work. The nice thing is they're going to basically say, okay, this alliance has, this many commanders run this many hours. So they have 6 commanders that run a total of 24 hours a week. And these are the play times on average that they're bringing members into there. And then they basically match us up with somebody that's complementary to us. So like they say, okay, well this group has no commanders at this time, so let's pair them up with that. And then they have commanders when this group isn't. So they can basically manually pair groups of alliances together to basically give 24/7 coverage. So that's going to be kind of a nice experiment to see how well it works. It could just end like a train wreck. Who knows? I mean, until they try it, we'll never know. Anything's got to be better than the way that they're doing it now. So,
would you call it more of a skill-based matchmaking?
I think it's more population-based matchmaking. So they're trying to put the really good players with the really bad players, and trying to even out the playing fields so that one side isn't so lopsided. I think overall it'll be a good thing. But, plans on paper rarely end up the same as they were on paper. So we'll see how the final product is.
Well, like anything else, they always tweak it after it starts.
Yep. Alright, any other things for GW2?
Terrifer here.
Hey, Terrifer.
Hello. On Tuesday night, if you still do want to come out to World v World at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern, you're welcome. We usually run a small group and see what we can accomplish. Oh. Everyone's welcome.
Thank you, Terrifer. I was wondering if you were there.
Yes, I am.
Good hearing your voice, buddy.
Hey, Fog, this is Goat.
Hey, Goat.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that my dungeon runs on weekends are going to continue. There may be different format, but they'll all be at the same time, and that's 1 o'clock California time, both Saturday and Sunday. And I'm actually paired up with Winterlight, who I have asked to do most of the work for this stuff, because I just think it's more fun if I don't have to do the work. And if anybody wants to come out, you're more than welcome. If you don't know anything about dungeons, we love you because you're the guys we throw in front of the boss and we watch. No, we don't. Anyway, we like newbies, we like old bees. We do not do speed runs very often. If you want to do a speed run, some of us are available during the week. You just have to find us. And that's all I got. Sorry.
Was that for Guild Wars 2? Because
Yes, Guild Wars 2.
I haven't played the game in ages. I would love to jump back in. I like being the fodder. Let's go.
And basically what my rule of thumb is, I don't do any work. Winter does putting the teams together, the parties together, and when we're in a dungeon, you guys do all the work and I just get to kill stuff.
Nice. All right. Oh, you're the primary DPS, I see. giving all the credit to the tank and healers. All right.
This is what I've been doing wrong this time.
It's the same thing I do. Let everyone else go in front of me.
Oh, and I do have one more thing. I would like to officially or publicly thank Namri, Kimbria, and Volmer for taking over the tough runs in the dungeons to help people get their Dungeon Master achievement. Without them, I would be lost, and I can't thank them enough for helping us out.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, actually, real quick, this is Sarafka. I'm just backing up what Goat just said. I just went with Kim and Balmer and all of them to do an Ara path today, and it was probably the smoothest anything I've done in Guild Wars, so it worked really, really well. They did a really great job.
Thank you, but I'm going to give all credit to Namri because, like, he's my total sensei.
Yes, he taught us how to do it.
Damn
Good
it,
evening, Baker.
I feel like I'm missing out on a whole awesome community just by playing ESO. Damn it.
Hey now, you got us.
Yes, I do. Sorry. I just...
Wow.
Make
we
the
love
guild
teasing.
happen. Make the guild happen here.
Blaze out, jeez.
It's all
Group hug.
Yeah. All right, guys. We are going to continue.
Fog, this is Sue. I just wanted to say that I'm returning after like a 3-year absence. A lot of major life issues kept me away, but so I'm really lost, but I'm figuring things out gradually, and I will holler if I need help on stuff.
Sounds good.
I'm always around if you need help. I'm in Discord 4 a.m. to 12:30 Pacific, and as I work, so you can always come in and ask questions. Point you in the right direction.
Okay, well, I've recently retired, so now I actually have time to play again. So who knows when I'll be on.
Retirement is good. All right. Next up is Elder Scrolls Online. So, if you have an event that you want to announce for Elder Scrolls Online, feel free to X up and I will call on each of you. If you have questions for Elder Scrolls Online, hit up that URL at the top of the screen there and pop a question in there if you don't want to read it. Otherwise, you can type X and ask your question. My Elder Scrolls Online events right now are Thursday, 6 p.m. We have 2 more weeks left in the Chronicles of Tamriel. That's week 4, which is at the Rift, and week 5, which is in Eastmarch. And then from there, I will be going back to doing World v. World or AVA events in Cyrodiil. So Saturdays at 11 a.m. currently is our walkthrough. We have 1 more walkthrough after this week. This morning was our 4th. We're going to have our 5th, and then it'll be back into the AVA. I might end up using the Thursday time slot for some fun out in the Somerset expansion. See what we can do. I really want to kind of take on that and see if there might be a community event waiting to happen out there. So We'll go peruse that and see what we got. So anyone else? Where is Sir Henry? I know you got something.
I typically usually I run 4 events a week now. I used to run 5, but on Wednesdays we're running trials. We started last week. We started trials again. Trials is an ESO. It's a raid event. So it's basically a 12-man raid. And we take anyone that's any level above 10. So anyone's above 10 could come. We had a level 21 that went to 2 raids last Wednesday, and we finished both raids. So we're not doing any vet raids at this point. We're just doing normal raids. On Saturdays, I run a rotating event. So it's on Saturdays after Fog's event at 5:30 Eastern or 2:30 Pacific. I either run a Cyrodiil or Imperial City events, or I run some daily quest events on Saturdays, which is on PvE side. On Sundays, mostly it's PvE, mostly daily quests, a world boss, or something like that. It's also rotating, so it keeps the events a little lively. I'm not doing the same thing every week, especially for me. It gets a little boring doing the same event every week from 2 years ago, I guess. So I rotate my events nowadays. I'm trying to remember what the other event was. Well, I have another event on the calendar. I just don't remember off the top of my head. Verve runs a bunch of events. I'm just going to let Verve say his.
I run 2 if that's a bunch. Mondays we run a really nice event if you're not into 4-man dungeons to get your undaunted skill level up. It's really quick, easy. You run 15 delves in all the regular 15 zones. You just zone into the delve, kill the boss, pick up some widgets, zone back to the undaunted, and it's worth half of what it would be if you did a regular 4-man dungeon. So it's nice to have the passes for that, for undaunted. And on Thursdays before Fog's community event, I run a map clear where we do all the group related content, the stuff that is really hard for you to do solo. World bosses, dolmen, public dungeon, those sorts of things.
I just remember on Fridays, once in a while, we run vet or pledge dungeons. Usually it's for vet, where we do hard dungeons in the game that gives you a pledge key for shoulders, March of Shoulders. So on Fridays, it's every other week, because I don't think I run it every Friday anymore. So I think I placed it every 14 days.
All right, Gmod Fog asked if there's any beginner events to ask questions and take things slow. ESO is kind of a unique breed where there's a lot of it that if you try to go with a group and you go down a different path than somebody else, they're not going to see the mobs that you're attacking. So it's kind of one of those games you got to try it out yourself and wander around, do your quests, and then join in with other people for the bigger stuff. You can technically play the entire game solo. It's just feel free to ask questions in guild chat, jump into Discord, ask questions there. The public community event and the walkthroughs are both designed for new players. You can just port to me and follow me around, wander with me, and you'll see the sights, get the loot, kill the dolmens, fight some world bosses. It's a good way to basically be a part of the community, learn about the game, and have literally probably 40 people backing you up in whatever you do. So,
just to tag on to that, most of the events, because since One Tamriel came out, most of the events any level can go to. There are a few that have some restrictions, but you can be level 3 and go to just about every event we run.
That's true.
Have a battle leveling system similar to Guild Wars. I'm drunk as hell. Sorry.
Cinco de Mayo.
Right. God, I'm the worst person to be here.
Yeah, Twyla went into the Hell Raw with us when she was level 3. And we did alright with her at level 3. So you can pretty much do anything.
And Hell Raw is a trial. So it's a raid zone. And we took someone in a raid zone. The other thing is most of the events, most of the ESO, if you haven't played ESO in the last few years, ESO has dumbed down the game for casual players. So you could actually pretty much, like they said, you could level and do everything on your own. Because you don't need, for most of the quests, on 99% of the quests, you could solo it. It's not that difficult anymore unless you do a group quest or something like that. They dumbed it down for casual play, but the hardcore play is still hardcore on the most part. But they have like, it tears up in the game now, so it's not as bad. Plus, the other thing is Fog's probably remembering the quests of the old days where you couldn't see the mobs or you couldn't see the player if you're not on the same quest. That has changed now. The questing, except for a few minor quests, most of the quests you can see all the mobs and help out the player that needs it. So you can actually assist nowadays. Unfortunately, they gutted it in a different sense. If you like the role play, that type of thing, storylines and stuff like that, you don't see the world changing anymore, that type of thing, because they used to like zone you out and made a different instance for you in a sense, where the world would change after you finish the quest. So they did away with some of that, or most of that.
Alrighty. So the big thing coming up on the horizon for ESO is Somerset. It's a expansion. If you pre-order it, you can also get Morrowind included for free. That's what I did to get it on PC. I managed to have a copy on PlayStation of Morrowind, but I never got Morrowind for PC, so this will allow me to catch up. So I will probably be exploring both of those places here in the near future with you guys. So yeah, check that out on ElderScrollsOnline.com. It's also at a lower price point than the last one, I believe. So it's not too bad. Does anyone else have any questions, announcements, or anything for ESO?
Just a minor thing for those that play don't know PSO. Some games you have mentoring stuff. In this game, everyone scales up to the top level in a sense. So that's why everyone can play together in this game, which is a nice feature.
Yep. Go ahead, Kitty.
A little heads up, Morrowind, after the release of Somerset, becomes a DLC that you can actually buy with crowns and access with the ESO Plus.
Nice.
The questing in the DLC content is excellent.
Indeed. Alright, we are going to proceed to Rift. So Rift's big thing now is that they have Rift Prime. That is a subscription-based server, so you have to have a sub to be able to play on it. The downside is that your guild doesn't transfer there, your stuff doesn't transfer there. It's essentially a, what do they call it, a kind of a rollback to the vanilla days. So what this did was you had this giant free-to-play community, and now you got your pay-to-play community, and they threw a giant wall in between the two. So for us, we pretty much suffered our first major blow when our raiders went to other raiding guilds. And now with this, it's pretty much dried us out to the point where it's a historical chapter through and through. We do have an event every weekend with Louis. Louis runs them, I believe, on Saturday and Sunday. And he's been running them pretty much constantly for a little over a year now, I think.
Just Sunday. Just Sunday. Fog.
Just Sunday? Okay. Yeah, it's on the Rift calendar. If you're interested in trying Rift out, there you go. If you're looking for a raiding experience or something like that, I will be honest with you, you're probably best looking somewhere else. Our crew is really skeleton at this point. There's just been a big series of events that has thinned us out to the point where we don't really have a presence most of the time. So in all fairness, we're keeping the chapter open for anyone that wants to enjoy it. They're welcome to keep claiming participation and doing things together. But for the most part, it's mostly on the scheduled base now. Go ahead, Elena.
Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. Berga has returned to Rift, and she is listed as leader on the roster. She must have been the last one leaving Rift back in the old days. But she's doing a great job. I mean, I'm glad she's there.
Yeah, when she came back, she asked if she should resign from that position, and I said no, just go ahead and keep it. She ran Rift while we stepped away the first time, so she was pretty much the last one that was in charge of things before we returned to Rift, and she kept it alive and kept it going while we were gone. So I left her there out of respect of her.
I love having her there.
So she's kind of been, she was an elder for a long time until we left Rift, and she didn't play Guild Wars 2, so she stayed with Rift, and she's always been a very close friend to Gaiscioch, and we are happy to have her there. So in the future, I'm without a doubt most likely going to have her come back into the fold if she'll accept us, and hopefully take back up her elder mantle and just help us keep Rift alive where we can. At least keep it there for someday. Hopefully they will make the changes that they need to make and make Rift the game that it deserves to be. So I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, Rift is kind of there right now if you guys want it, but not gonna find a huge Gaiscioch conglomerate running around out there doing things, unfortunately. So does anyone have any things that they wish to share? Announcements, questions, discussion? Feel free to ask. Only dumb questions, one not asked. Alright, we will move along. Next up is Warhammer Online in the form of Return of Reckoning. This is a private server. You can learn more at gaiscioch.info/war. And returnofreckoning.com is the website. It is a private server, so it's not official. It's basically a bunch of fans got together and backwards engineered the server architecture and decided to throw up a kind of a reminiscent throwback to the old Warhammer days. And we've been poking around on it for about probably 6 months now, maybe a little less than that. We do have a guild that has almost 400 people involved in it. We have weekly events on Friday, 6 p.m., where we trade off between Tier 1 and Tier 4. Tier 1 is insanely fun when there's Destro around, kind of boring when they're not. Tier 4 is insanely, what would the word be? Hardcore?
Interesting.
Yes, it is no holds barred. You are forced, basically every single player in the game, there's about 1,000 people playing at any time. Every single Tier 4 player is forced into 1 or 2 pairings. So literally you have 300v300, 400v400, I mean all kinds of crazy things, and you're just watching like a crazy amount of Destro in order to fight constantly all day long. So it's pretty impressive, but if you're not at the top of the food chain, it's kind of rough. The cool thing is that they did do the bolstering system, so when you turn level 16, you automatically get bolstered to level 48, and the closer you get to level 40, the lower that number gets. So when you're 40, you're actually just 40, and then your realm rank. When you're 16, you're 48, and then your realm rank. So you are pretty powerful when you're a low level, but as you get closer to 40, you become basically entirely dependent on your gear and everything else. So it's kind of a cool way to keep the new guys in a Tier 4 alive. Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4 are all 1 now. Tier 1 is 1 through 16, and you chicken when you hit 16. So it's pretty entertaining. Feel free to tune in on Friday nights, 6 p.m. I live stream it every week on Twitch. You're welcome to check it out, see what's going on, see what it looks like. And we are looking at getting some PvE events on the calendar for those that are interested. If you want to do some PQs and stuff like that, please feel free to hit up the Warhammer channel in Discord and let people know when you want to do it, and they're trying to figure out what days are going to work for everybody. So does anyone have anything to ask, question, or announce for Warhammer Online? Looks like a no. So what we'll do is we will roll for the second patch. Dun, da, 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 Typeria. Yay. I saw you here. Where are you? Where are you? Alright, so I got those two names down. I will contact you to get your mailing address to be able to send you stuff. Alright, so next up, social adventures. These are our recreational games that we play. These are usually 100% scheduled, where we say, hey, we're going to play this at this time, this day, and then you show up and play. It's not really one that we're there 24/7. So Dungeons & Dragons Online has had a recent spurt of activity, quite a bit in fact. If you are a DDO player, now's a good time to get involved. Hit up Conleth or Radiological. Both of them are heavily into it. We have a few others that are doing it as well. Then Terra PS4, look up Gaiscioch there. Gaiscioch was a forbidden word, so we weren't allowed to use that. So for our live stream purposes, I just did Gaiscioch. We are not a chapter there. We will never be a chapter there. It's just a full funsies. Destiny 2, we have a Gaiscioch available. Both PC, Xbox, and PlayStation can all join the same shell. So look for Gaiscioch. And then Overwatch, we have regular events popping up on Overwatch lately. Coming soon, Bless Online. I plan on actually having a Sunday event for Bless Online when it goes live. Defiance 2050 for PS4. We will be cruising around that. Playing that probably on Mondays. And then Camelot Unchained. This is the one that we've been waiting for years and years and years for it to come out, and we will definitely be giving it its due love. So if you are interested in Camelot Unchained, we will be forming up a Gaiscioch there. Maybe we might brand it something else and have some fun. July is when it goes beta. So we will be probably kicking off sometime around there and pulling our resources together, seeing where we're going with it.
Has there been any news on that front about guild limits?
No, but Camelot Unchained was never really a consideration for a chapter. So
I'm sorry, I was AFK. I heard Overwatch.
Overwatch, we have pickup events. Just keep an eye on Discord. They usually pop up in the social adventure channel, and they do quite a bit of Overwatching.
Thank you.
Talk to Kitty. Kitty will always point you in the Overwatch direction.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
Thank you.
The game. God, yes. Ignore me. Sound like a dumbass.
Alright, so we're gonna go put Malice back in the corner again.
Again?
Sorry.
Nobody puts Malice in the corner.
No more cookies for you.
Slash cry.
Alright, so we're gonna proceed. Gaiscioch Magazine stuff. There you go. My full screen back. There we go. Alright, Gaiscioch Magazine. We are going to be changing the way that we're doing things, but first, issue 15 has shipped. It features interviews from ArenaNet, Warhorse Studios, Fat Shark, and Atom Music Audio. Definitely check it out. gsch.info/mag-I15 will get you there. We have a tight top 10 games to make time disappear. Donnelly put this together. Basically rated his 10 games that he totally lost track of time playing. And then we have a huge section filled with Guild Wars 2 interviews, guides, reviews, fan fictions, you name it. There's like literally about 40 pages, 45 pages of the magazine is Guild Wars 2 stuff. And then we have tributes to Findon and Pops in this issue. Cover story is Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's a great little article, interview with the team. So, the road ahead for Gaiscioch Magazine, we are moving away from the printable format. This was mainly decided because we were getting about probably 1,000 people reading the digital edition / print version. And then each of our articles that we published online would be getting close to 3,000. So our entire magazine was getting less views than a single article. So we decided, you know what, why don't we just focus on creating great content and put it into a web format. So the entire magazine will basically take on a web format where it's being built dynamically rather than having to sit there and lay it all out and design and work on coloring and all this so that we can have 3 people print it. So we're going to be focusing on creating cool content instead. So that's kind of the direction that we're going. So we're going to be bringing all the content direct to site. So we have a schedule that we're putting out. We're going to be having a magazine team meeting here in a few weeks. You're welcome to join in on that if you're interested. And we're going to be trying to stick to a schedule so we have cool content coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We will see how well it goes along. And then each issue is going to basically turn into a 3-month collection of articles. So from July to September, all of those will be wrapped up into an issue. From October to December, all those into an issue. Jan through March, all those into an issue. April, June, all those into an issue. And basically what it will be is like when you go issue / number, it will show you all the articles that was in that time period. And then it will automatically build the table of contents, have a nice little cover there for you. Subscribers will get monthly updates starting with issue 16. So once issue 16 releases, we're going to basically put together a little email blast that will feature all the articles that went out each month. So that should be a nice way to keep the subscribers involved. And of course, Gaiscioch Magazine is 100% free. It is not charged. We don't charge for anything. None of the ads are paid ads. They are thank you ads. So all the ads that you see in our magazine are all thank yous for game developers allowing us to interview their team or giving us access to their product before anyone else. It's our way of saying thanks. So our goals for each month, we're going to be looking at getting at least 1 feature story the first Monday, 1 top X list, so top 10, top 25, etc. on the 4th Monday, 3 to 4 chapter-related articles that will be sent out on Wednesdays, 1 preview, 2nd Monday, 1 review, 3rd Monday, and 1 to 2 life and community articles that come out on Fridays. You can learn more at gaiscioch.info/mag. Next up, live streams. It's going to be a quick section. PlayStation Adventures, this is our daily stream, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. We're going to be doing Destiny 2 Mondays, Far Cry 5 Tuesdays, Raiders of the Broken Planet Wednesdays, Horizon Zero Dawn, my new favorite game, Thursdays, and Terra on Fridays. If you want to join us in Terra, feel free. That's on PlayStation. And then coming in June, our lineup is going to be Far Cry 3, Far Cry 5, Space Hulk Deathwing, Detroit Become Human, and then Terra on Fridays. For the Weekend Warriors, this is Sundays, typically at 11 a.m. We have Vermintide 2, Dauntless, and Bless Online. For the Siege War, we have Guild Wars 2 Mondays at 6 p.m. and then Warhammer Age of Reckoning / Return of Reckoning, and Fridays 6 p.m. Pacific. Alright, Community Corner time, last chance to ask questions. There's the URL if you want to ask some questions.
How many weeks are left on the Chronicles of Tamriel?
2. We have chapter or part 4 and 5. So this Thursday and next Thursday.
Thank you.
And being this went off so well, we will probably be looking to schedule another one. We're going to have to do a little more prize pooling and planning before we announce what we're going to do. But it will probably be at least 6 months down the road. And we do have our big community event in Guild Wars 2 coming up as well, Great Turn Adventure. That's going to be returning for 5th season or 6th season, 5th season. And we are going to be going into high gear, planning that here soon. Ashes of Creation. Someone's asking if we have an update on that. We are just kind of waiting. Supposedly this fall they're going to be having the first round of alpha. Hoping to be able to get hands-on with that. If not, then we'll just be sitting and waiting patiently. I'm pretty sure that we're probably going to see a beta in 2019. If I'm hoping it releases 2019, honestly, but don't know. So far, it seems like it's pretty close to our next chapter. I'm not 100% certain I could say yes, because as we learned with other games, we can see it on paper, see it on little glimpses, and it looks all well and good, and then you play it when it's live, and it's not the game that you were promised. So we're not going to commit to it until we know that it's going to be, the kind of game that draws 400 plus people, preferably 700 plus people. That's kind of what we're looking for our next chapter. We want a place where we can all play together and enjoy each other's company, and we're hoping Ashes of Creation is that. Can't really say for certain if it's going to be it, but there is a lot of other games on the horizon coming up. Amazon Studios is making one. Magic the Gathering, the game, the MMO, is coming down the pipeline. Even Blizzard announced that they're working on a new MMO that's unannounced. So who knows? You never know.
Do you know about the McQuaid one? I forget the name.
Yes, and that is straight PvE.
Okay.
So that's not one that we'll be going into because it doesn't give anything for our Siege Warfare side of the house.
Is there a gathering of Gaiscioch members that play any mobile games, or are anybody considering moving into mobile games?
Mobile games? Not really, no. I'm sure there are people that do. It's just never really been a focus, and it's a little too sporadic to try to, maintain a community there.
Absolutely.
You can make it a social adventure, I guess, but that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a social adventure in anything. I mean, if you wanted to have Friday nights at the bar and grab a bunch of Gaiscioch guys and go to the bar, you can make a social adventure outing for that.
What time?
I'm sorry. So the guy that created EverQuest, McQuaid, his new game isn't going to have PvP?
No.
If that, I believe that's Pantheon, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's right. It's Pantheon.
That is straight PvE. 100%
All
PvE.
PvE. Okay.
If that, I believe that's Pantheon, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's right.
Yeah, that is great. Sorry, Raynor's picking up her own sound, so I'll mute her. Nice to see you, Raynor. So weird hearing yourself. All right. Any other questions? I'm not seeing any other ones.
So, MTG already has their own online game going on.
Yes, Magic the Gathering is creating an MMO that is not a card game. It is based on the Magic the Gathering lore, and is going to be a fully functional MMO.
What the fuck? I mean, sorry.
Yeah, so we shall see. It's been on my watch list for a while. It's being made by the same team that produced Neverwinter, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yes, I agree.
But heck, when they do the PAX West and they literally lock down an entire city block and bring in a carnival for the Magic the Gathering, I'm really excited to see what kind of money they throw at a game.
I bet it'll be pretty impressive.
But it's going to be in direct competition with WoW, no?
Well, WoW is getting old, if you haven't realized. So it's, even Blizzard is looking at making the next one because they know that, WoW might have another couple of years, before it starts having its serious fall off. Even with things like EverQuest still being run today, they're running into issues now. So it's really it's a matter of time before things start falling off that freshness, and there's only so much that they can reinvent. Sooner or later, they're either going to have to overhaul the engine, give something entirely new, or grab a different audience. They're definitely not the 11 million that they used to be.
Well, I can't stand the game. To me, in WoW, the challenge now is to die. It's so easy and watered down.
Yep.
Hey, if anyone wants to buy my Mox Ruby, I'm interested.
All right. Any other questions? Now's your chance. Ask me all the crazy questions.
Box rubies for some cash.
Yes, have you heard of that Lord British game being reinvented? I forgot the name.
That game, Shrouds of the Avatar, is the hardest to figure out how to attack something I've ever seen in my life. I baited that game. I alphaed that game. I probably put 10, 15 hours into that game. And just fighting a wolf was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, it's like they overly complicated the combat system to the point where it's just miserable to use. So, yeah, I had high hopes. It looked cool when I saw it at PAX, but then when I played it, it was miserable.
What was that other game you put out that came and went? I forgot. It was an MMO. I played it.
Rasa?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, Tabula Rasa, I actually enjoyed, funny enough. I will admit it. I enjoyed Tabula Rasa, but it crashed and burned hard. Alrighty, anyone else have a question? Alright, final raffle. Any last GSCHs out there? Type GSCH if you'd like to win a Gaiscioch patch. It's 3 inches, embroidered, looks really nice.
In what channel?
Giving away Gaiscioch patches on Twitch.
Yeah, but in what channel do you type something?
In Twitch.
Twitch.
GSCH.info/Twitch.
That's where we got to be right now.
Yeah, if you want to win a patch, you gotta type GSCH in there. Sue, try spelling it better. There you go.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I'm hurrying.
I thought my spelling was bad. Wow.
I'm starting it up.
So yeah, I just talked you guys all into swearing a lot apparently, because GSCH is a swear word or something in Korea. So such vulgarity in this Twitch channel.
Oh, actually, the perfect time. That was actually one real fast question I did want to ask. So I am still incredibly active in StarCraft 2. I've been playing StarCraft 2 since beta. They do have like quote-unquote communities. They're not guilds. They're not clans. It's like a glorified chat room. Would it be possible if one could be created there, or I create one there, just in case there's one of 3 people that are from the guild that play?
You can create anything as a GSCH, not as a Gaiscioch. Gaiscioch are reserved for chapters.
Okay, perfect.
Alright, I think I got everyone in there. I'm seeing the GSCH die off here. So we're going to go ahead and roll for that last one. Kasari.
Oh wow, wasn't expecting that.
So thank you all for tuning in. I will be getting together with each of the 3 winners to figure out where I need to send these things. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be doing it again here in 3 months. Every 3 months I'm going to start giving away patches. So urging you guys to attend and participate. As always, you can get social with us. We're at Gaiscioch, Gaiscioch, on Twitter, Facebook, gsch.info/Facebook. You can do gsch.info/all kinds of things, Twitch, stream, YouTube, Voice, Steam, Patreon, just gsch.info by itself. Yeah, all kinds of things. So thank you for tuning in. As always, Zlong of Oil.
Thank you, Fog.
Thank you.
Thank you.